Zambia Blog Talk Radio.
Do you want to promote your business on Zambia Blog Talk Radio? Yes, that's right. Live on Zambia Blog Talk Radio. To book your spot, just make a donation by picking from the following categories. To get started, just call or WhatsApp the number on the screen and you'll be good to go. Live on Zambia Blog Talk Radio every Saturday for 1 full month. And it will stay on the recorded shows.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. It's Saturday 17th. Amazing, time is flying. A week before Christmas. Welcome to Zambia Blog Talk Radio. We do appreciate you joining us. As always, every weekend we are on the air. We have an exciting discussion for you today. Please subscribe to our YouTube link, ZDTerra TV, so that you do not miss a single show. Or you can also like our Facebook page, Zambia Blog Talk Radio. So let's get on with it and get into our discussion. Mr. K, how is Lusaka today?
Lusaka is good. It was raining, so the weather is good. Yeah.
What is the Christmas mood in the city or in the country?
There's lots of shopping. People are excited. They
All
can't
right.
wait. Fireworks and all.
Excellent. All right, this morning where I am in Dallas, and good afternoon in Europe, and in Africa, good evening in the Western Pacific of Australia and those parts of the world. We have an interesting discussion today. We are speaking to SASHA SERVANA. I believe she's a mindset mentor joining us from the UK. Hi, Sasha. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Excellent. What is the Christmas mood in the United Kingdom?
Oh, it's so busy. It's cold. It's freezing here today, but it's high energy. Everybody's shopping. You know, this time of the year.
Yeah, I know.
Spend the most money.
Everybody's spending the money and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So, Sasha, the mentorship thing and the mindset, attitude. First, before we even dive into that, please tell us about yourself and where does SASHA SERVANA's journey begin from?
Sorry, I didn't hear you because you'd gone off a little bit. So if you've said
Okay,
something.
I've gone off a little bit. Yeah, I said there are the issues of mindset, attitude, and all these things. Where does that journey begin with you? Where does SASHA SERVANA's journey begin from?
Yeah. So my name is SASHA SERVANA. I'm currently in the UK, but I'm originally from Zambia, Ndola, Copper Belt.
Okay.
The Copper Bullets. So at the moment, I am a TV host. I host a TV show called Mental Hope, which is aired once a month in Zambia on Sun FM with my co-host Melissa. So we do something similar to this, which is we have different people coming on the platform, sharing their stories about, difficult situations that they've gone through and how they've overcome it. So the purpose of our show is to give hope. It is to give empowerment. So that's what we've done for the whole year. We've just aired our last show a few weeks ago. So that's what I currently do. I'm also a mindset mentor in training. And how my journey started is a few years ago, I had a son, and the father of my son and I, we broke up. And when we broke up, I went through a very challenging time because, for one, when you've just had a child, you're very vulnerable. Culture looks down upon you and thinks, especially coming from Zambia, that you're not married. And so I had a lot of self-worth issues that I had to deal with. And so I went on a journey of personal development, because I said to myself that life cannot be like this. I need to have a better life. And so I met a certain lady who had gone through a divorce. She had lost her home and she also had a child. But then she went through personal development and she started her own business by mentoring and coaching other people. And so when I saw how she had developed herself, that really gave me the possibility and the light to say, actually, my life can be like that as well. And so I started then the journey of developing myself as a person. And so really just taking full responsibility for where I was and about the choices that I'm making, and also just having that self-awareness about myself. So it's been a long journey and it's a continuous journey, because I feel like you can never arrive. You're always learning.
Yeah, that's a very powerful story right there. I want you to talk about these terms, because in the recent years, we've seen the development and upcoming of life coaching, issues to do with mindset, attitude, poor, bad, wrong self mindset. Can you just try to define and walk us through those terminologies?
Okay, yeah. So yeah, over the last few years, I feel like, there's been a lot of mindset coaches and a lot of personal development, which I think is very important, because if there is people in your life that have been through a certain journey that you're currently going through, they can help you get there. And they can condense the time, so you don't have to make the mistakes by yourself. Somebody else can help you achieve that. So when it comes to poor mindset or bad mindset, what I say is a poor mindset or a bad mindset is a mindset that is fixed. It can't be changed. It can't be altered. Sometimes we say things like, this is just how I am. In Zambian language, we say, like I can never change. But that is the bad mindset. And a good mindset is a growth mindset, is the one that is constantly learning. You're constantly evolving. You know that you're flexible, you're adaptable. That is a growth mindset. And that's the mindset that we need to have, one that challenges our status quo, one that's helping us grow. Yeah.
Amazing. A good mindset is a growth mindset. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So then now diving deep into our discussion. Oftentimes, obviously, it is said that if your circle of friends is not helping you grow, since you talked about a good mindset being a growth mindset, so it is said that if your circle of friends is not helping you grow, you must leave that circle. So is it really an issue about that circle of yours, or does it have to do with your mindset as an individual?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I really like that question, because a growth mindset and your circle, they move together, they go together. So, for instance, when I broke up with my partner, if I went to, say, a certain set of people who had that similarity, and their mindset would have been, say, for instance, I would have gone to a bunch of people and they would have said to me, Sash, this is how life is. About me, Efyo Baba, this is how men are. And if I go to another set of people, the conversation would have been, Sash, this is an opportunity for you to look at how you can get better. This is an opportunity for you to look and see how you can take responsibility for where you are. How did you make the choices that you made so that you could find yourself in this experience? So you see, it's like the same experience, but two different conversations. So the people that you hang around with is very important in order for you to develop your mindset. So the conversations that you have, the words that you speak, the things that you look at, the emotions that you feel, all those affect your mindset. I like to give this example that, if you go out on the road and you meet a Muslim person, how would you know that he's a Muslim? One of the ways that you could know that he's a Muslim is by the words that he speaks. He would say things like, I'm reading the Quran, I'm going to the mosque. So your words that you speak affect your mindset. And the other thing that you would say is, if you went to his house, what are some of the things that you would notice that would make you think that he's a Muslim? Some of the things that you would find in his house would be the Quran, his outfits that they wear. So the images that you look at also affects your mindset. And the other thing as well is your emotions. When you go to church and you sing songs, they rise an emotion within you. And that is your belief system. And that affects your mindset. So definitely the circle, the people that you hang around with affects your mindset. Another thing you could look at, is, for instance, is if you're looking for a job and you want to earn 50,000 pounds or dollars, and you go and have this conversation with somebody who is earning 10,000 kwacha, they're going to tell you, number one, that it's impossible. How can you do that? But if you have that conversation with somebody who's earning 100K, they're going to give you detailed steps of how you can achieve that. So definitely look at your circle, because your circle does affect your mindset.
Yes, it could definitely affect your mindset. Wonderful. Learning a lot. So now you have talked about your story as to what led you into what rather led you onto the path of attitude and mindset. So then what did you notice from your experience that made you realize to say, hey, I need to pull out, I need to talk about this. So it's not just supposed to be about me, but let me go out there as well and help others?
Yeah, so I have been on on this journey for a long time, and I'm so privileged that I have a lot of people within my circle that are high achievers, that are looking at life with a different mindset. And so because I've been around these kind of people and I've learned so much and I'm developing myself, I said to myself, you know what, there's no way that I can learn all this information and keep it to myself. I need to go out there and help other people out, especially women, and so I find that one of the challenges, or the most challenges that people face within your mindset, is fear. And then just having that fixed mindset, you feel like this is the only way that things can be. There's no other way that things can be. And so fear keeps you stuck. And the other thing I found as well is that your circle, like I said, your circle, you feel like this is just how life is. It can never get better than this, because you're talking to the same people every day. You're watching the same movies. You're having the same conversations. You're going to the same places. And so you just keep repeating the same cycle. You have children and your children are doing the same thing. You talk to your aunties, they've gone through the same thing. So you're just in the same kind of phase constantly. And so the minute you can actually have the courage or the desire to step out of that environment and go into a new environment, number one, it's scary, because you're in unfamiliar territory. So you're going to be fearful, but it's okay to do it anyway. Fear doesn't mean that don't do it. The fact that fear shows up is a sign that you should do it, So yeah, that are some of the challenges that I feel some of the people are having at the moment, is fear and just having that fixed mindset that you just feel like it can never get better. So me coming on the show and demonstrating what's possible is a way of inspiring people that, you know what, if Sasha can do it, so can I.
Yeah. Talking about fear, your circle, maybe limited exposure, whereby you need to get more exposed. What if stepping out means losing it all? Leaving a particular circle or changing a certain way of doing things or a particular lifestyle is very important, but at times there's huge costs attached to stepping out. What if I'm losing it all? What if I'm leaving my family, all the attachments? How can you encourage someone to still move on? What if if for example it means you leave the job that's giving you 100,000 US dollars or kwacha, whichever, or that which is at risk?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say that before you make any move, it's very important. Like for me, I always ground myself in prayer. So prayer is very important because you want to speak to somebody that is has a higher insight about your life than you yourself. So pray about that desire that you have and make sure that your desire is in alignment with what is designed for you yourself as a person. Um, so sometimes we do have desires which are fleshy desires. They are just desires because my neighbor is driving this car, so I should drive that car. So sometimes it's very essential to think about why do you want what you want. Whatever it is that you want, it's good to grow because growth is essential for us and God wants us to grow. But it's also very important for you to think about why do you want that thing? Because the reason of why you want that thing is what's going to propel you into you achieving that thing. It sounds quite deep, but it's very important that your intention of why you're doing something is very important. So if your intention is clean and if you've got a right attitude, like your right intention, regardless of where you're going, it doesn't matter what challenges are there because you're going to be equipped. You're coming from a clean source. You're going to be equipped. You've prayed about it, and God has a way of bringing the right people, the right connections to propel you into the next phase, into the next stage. So do not let fear make you tremble. There's a verse in the Bible which says that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind. So when you're feeling fearful, call upon the sound mind, call upon love, and then that will propel you into that next season that you want. But do not let fear stand in the way of you getting into the next season. And sometimes it's true, you will lose. But if you're going to be losing so that you can obtain something greater, it's worth the loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sasha, some of these things, like you are saying, can be very scary stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
like Asulova said, let's take it. Let's drive it a notch deeper, like you have said. We have, for example, like to your situation, especially you women folk, you find yourself in very, very abusive, very difficult, very unhealthy relationships. The fear to just step out and get out of that. What does it take to have the right attitude in an environment like that?
Yeah, so that's a very serious situation. And first and foremost, I would say is that never step out on your own. Seek support because it's important for you to have support. Like people, again, we go to our circle, the people that will support you, the people that will speak life into you in that situation. So if you're feeling fearful, you want to have a support network. It's either you could speak to your family, or you could speak to a pastor, or you could speak to an auntie, somebody that can help you while you're making this transition into the next phase. For me, when I broke up, when I had the breakup relationship, one of the things that came out for me very loudly was self-worth. So I had an issue of self-worth and value. So even though my relationship brought it out to the surface, it wasn't my partner that made me feel like I was unworthy. I already was feeling unworthy, and that relationship just highlighted it. So if it wasn't the relationship, it was going to happen in something else. So my work that I did was to work on me feeling worthy and then cleaning up on why I felt unworthy. So when I say cleaning up, I mean getting rid of those thoughts or the stories that I'm telling myself about unworthiness. Because sometimes you don't even realize that you're telling yourself stories of unworthiness until a situation happens. If that makes sense. So if it didn't happen in my relationship, it was going to happen in my finances. I was going to have lack constantly. And if it didn't happen in my finances, it was going to happen in my office, in my career. So unworthiness is going to be everywhere. It's just the relationship highlighted it a lot. So for me, my work that I've been doing is working on my self-worth. And my self-worth is first and foremost grounded in who God says that I am.
Mm.
That's my blueprint, and so now I have to do that constantly, is remind myself who I am in Christ Jesus. And then I go out in the world behaving like who God says that I am. And then circumstances and situations will come and affirm to me who I am. If that makes sense.
Sasha, let's dwell on that a little bit more. Because two things before I hand it over back to Kasuluba. Two things that you point out here: the stories that you tell yourself.
Yes.
The stories that you tell yourself. I want you to talk more about that. What are we saying to ourselves? What sort of things do we tell ourselves that make us feel like we are not worthy of this position, we are not worthy of this, we are not worthy of that?
Yeah. Sorry, I lost you there for a second. But yeah, you're saying the stories that we tell ourselves.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the stories that we tell ourselves, even though relationships as adults or situations that happen to us as adults, bring it out in the open, usually it stems from when you are a child. Like you grow up with it. Something's happened to you because we are not born with that story, telling ourselves that story. So something happens to you that you develop to tell yourself that story. And that story could be a coping mechanism because you want to protect yourself, but you don't realize that you're telling yourself a flawed story. So one of the ways that we tell ourselves stories is by our self-talk. If you're sitting by yourself and you're having thoughts, what are the thoughts that are going through your mind? Another way to know what your self-talk is like if a situation happens to you, what are the thoughts that you have? Like, so for me, when me and my partner broke up, immediately I started to tell myself that there must be something wrong with me. Why wouldn't he want me? The fact that he's gone to another person is because
Why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we always jump to the point, Sasha, of saying there's something wrong with me? You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
I think it's because something has told you, either a situation has happened to you from a child, that you've developed that narrative about yourself. Because not every woman has that story. There are some women who have broken up in relationships. As soon as a man does something to them that is not right, they will leave that relationship straight away and not tolerate it. And other women will try and prove that I am worth your love. Why are you leaving me? You know what I mean? So
yes.
Two women can have the same situation. One woman will just leave immediately and just say, this is not my life. I don't want this. But the one with a low self-worth or low self-esteem will stay in that and try and prove that she has some kind of value or worth to that person. So it's the narrative that we tell ourselves. That's why it's important to reveal to yourself what's going on within you, your mind. Your mindset is about your perception of how you see the world and how you see yourself. So it's important for you to make known. I think there's a verse in the Bible, I'm not sure, but it says the power of a thing is in its secrecy. So when you don't know that this is what's happening, that thing will always have power over you. But once you make it known, you can work around it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Final one from me before Kasuluba comes in. You talked about identifying a support system. That can also be a challenge for some people who have only known a specific or particular set of people around them. What steps would you encourage people to take to identify valuable support systems?
Yeah. So if you're in Zambia at the moment, I would suggest that, look at your hospitals or NGOs that have counseling services, or churches as well, churches have a lot of support, like organizations that help. I don't know too much about Zambia, but if you're in this part of the world, we know that you can go online and you can put your ad, what you're looking for within the area that you are. But I also know that in Zambia at the moment, there's lots of support places that people can go to for counseling, for mental health, for support system. So just look online if you can, and if not, contact your local church, and they should be able to help you. Like spiritual help is so important, but just do not do it by yourself. Try and see if you can find somebody, and also just reach out. If you can find me on Facebook, reach out, and wherever I can help, I would direct you to the right places that can help. Yeah.
Well said. Still, I think dwelling on support, because it's very important. It can make or break you. The other challenge that I think individuals have is that the pursuit of support might be there. The urge could actually even be there. But at times, people do not know who to trust, because even in churches, you would want to open up, even in churches, but yet you share your story, you share a deep story. You're walking in the street, you hear people talking about your story. You try to trust people with something really personal, to say, hey, you feel as though these could be the right people, or this could be the right person. It could even be the pastor or the elder you share your story to. Then the next time you're all over. So how can people seek the right counsel?
Yeah, it's very challenging, and I know it's very difficult to try and trust people, especially people who have done us wrong. But I think first and foremost is know that if you're able to, go to God, because you and God are the majority. You know what I mean? Like the pastor is great, the people around you are great, but if you find that you're in a situation where it's difficult for you to trust anybody, I would suggest that keep seeking God's face, keep reading the word of God for yourself, and until you feel like you are in a safe place. Because at the moment as well, we have a lot of access to YouTube, we have a lot of access to information around. So if you feel that you can't trust somebody, go online and see if there's somebody that you could speak to. Again, you want to be careful that you're just not speaking to anybody. You want to speak to people that will give you the right counsel. But, like you said, it's very challenging. But I would just like to encourage you, find somebody that you can initially, maybe without telling them every detail about what's happening to you, maybe break down the information slowly but surely until you build that trust. Because again, trust is something that is built. I can't come to you and tell you everything and anything. I have to build that trust with you gradually. So, but, definitely go to God and keep speaking to God, but also seek support from other people.
You've raised, I think, very important points. One, trusting God, the need to trust God, but also you made mention to say trust is gradual. So maybe the mistake that people tend to make, or rather we people tend to make, is we want to open up too soon. Maybe it's important to take some time, build a certain level of a relationship, and then from there we could be able to discern, at least to say, okay, this is a person I can trust, this is not the person I can trust, or this is how far I can go. Not so.
Definitely. And I just want to add on a little bit on that. Is like sometimes you feel like you need people. Yeah, it's true, we do need people, but sometimes that thought can also paralyze you in the sense that if you don't have people, then there's nothing you can do. God wants you to like, I know at the moment there's this thing of calling on pastors, and which,
Yep.
pastors are great. They are there for a reason, but you should also take responsibility for yourself. Like, go to the Word of God and read on something that will motivate you. The Bible talks about encouraging yourself. So be in that space where you're able to encourage yourself and then move from that place, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So personal encouragement, whereby it's not easy though. It's
It's
not.
not easy, and nothing in life is easy. The thing
Yep.
is, I think we always think that life is going to be easy and it should be easy. No, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of hard work. The people that you feel are having it easy, trust me, they've done all the hard work, or they're currently doing the hard work, and they've just found a formula of how to make it work.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
also yeah, adopting the saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess. As long as as long as you know that, okay, if I'm alive, then hey, I can live to
There's
see
still
another day.
hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's very important. And also, what do you think about just maybe finding certain things that would help you in overcoming certain things? Let's say the importance of picking a hobby, or maybe others it's comedy or things like that. What's the significance of such things in
Mm-hmm.
as you seek to develop the right mindset or attitude?
Yeah, so there's a few things that you can do. And again, it depends on your individual. For me, I like to journal. I like to write my thoughts down. I like to write my dreams down. I like to journal a lot. But there's some people who can't journal. They're like, I don't have the time for all of that. So you have to find what works for you. You could either, if you're a runner, you like running, like you, Kasura, you like running, that's
Yeah.
great for your mind.
Yeah.
Just walking in nature as well, and seeing how nature is also very healing to the mind. Fresh
Yep.
air, mixing around with people again who have the things that you want. Sometimes even just like doing a different kind of hobby. If you don't sew, maybe you can try sewing. Just putting yourself out there. But I definitely feel journaling is one of the tools that I use. Running, exercise, any form of exercise, listening to music. Music is also said to be quite healing, soothing as well. So those are some of the things that you can look into to develop your mindset. I remember when I was in Zambia before I left to come to the UK, I used to go to Pamozi Hotel with a journal, and I would sit in the garden. I didn't have money. Sometimes I would have enough money just for water, but I used to sit there with my journal and I used to write my dreams, and just being in that atmosphere, just watching people come, and it just motivated me. So you could do something like that as well, like go to a different environment that you wouldn't normally go, and just change your environment is so important.
Okay.
Sasha, I watched quite a bit of videos on your Facebook page, and it's okay for us to put up your email address. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched quite a bit of videos on your Facebook page, and you talk about a lot of things. For you, there's nothing that you're afraid of talking about or dealing with. Okay. So if people want to get in touch with you, before we talk about Kasuluva, what is that called? Is it a masterclass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we talk about the masterclass that you're going to be having, if people want to get in touch with you and they want to have a one-on-one, you're in the UK now and somebody's in Zambia. I don't know how does that work?
So you could either contact me on my social media, Facebook. I've got Instagram as well, or you can send me an email. My email is there. I'm happy to help. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then you pick it up from there. All right.
Yeah.
A lot of things that you have addressed, and you've shared your personal experiences, much appreciated. Most of us, our cultural setup or background is vulnerability is a no-go area. We try to, we try to appear these perfect, holy, righteous people, and yet
Yeah.
we've got a lot of stuff going on around us. It's what would you say are some of the challenges in people developing the right mindset and attitude? What are the most common challenges?
Okay, yeah. So just like you've said, we don't like to own our story. We want to have this perception of life is great. Like I can never go through this. We want to appear a certain way to people. And
Appear a certain way. Keywords.
yeah. Yeah, we want to appear a certain way. And so if you want to appear a certain way, you're going to be very selective about what you want to pick up and how much work you want to do on yourself, because you have an image that you are trying to portray. But if you come from a place of this is me, you own your story, you're going to be vulnerable, and you say to yourself that I'm in a position where I want to be better. So there's no thing, there's no person, no place, or no situation that I am going to allow to trick me out of my spot. So I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to come here and say that I never went through this, etc., etc. I'm going to come as real as I can. And I'm in this place right now where I want to be better. So in order for me to be better, I need to retrospect and see, where have I been? Where have I come from? What went well? What didn't go well? And what can I do now to make sure that I am moving in alignment with where I want to go? So some of the challenges that people have really is just fakeness, isn't it? You don't want to learn. You don't want to be vulnerable. And there's so much power in being vulnerable and owning your own story.
The time, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to say that, just like every year we have seasons.
Yes.
We have winter, we have summer, we've got spring. So because I'm in this season in my life, which is perceived to be not a great season, doesn't mean that summer is not going to come. It's going to come. But when summer comes, I need to be ready, because an opportunity is definitely going to come when summer comes. Right now, this is just my season. And during winter season, what happens is we cover up a lot. It's an opportunity for you to learn a lot. Whatever season you're in is an opportunity for you to do the work that is relevant for that season, because another season is definitely coming.
Excellent. We are in a what do you call it? We talked about this at the beginning of the show, although we were making fun of it. Christmas, holiday season, depending on what phraseology one wants to use, depending on their belief system. What are some of the things you would advise people to avoid, if I may? I don't know whether that's the right way. How would you advise people to carry themselves during this season?
Yeah, just be mindful of what you're doing, this is a season for you to relax. It's a season to enjoy, have time with your family. But in everything that we do, let's do it in moderation. We've worked hard for the whole year. People are going on holidays. This is a time that you're reconnecting with your family and friends. So just do everything in moderation. And this is also a great opportunity for you to practice gratitude. Look at the so many things that you can be thankful for. We are at the end of the year, we've been through a recession, but we've still got this opportunity to be with family and friends, indulge, have the chicken, have the turkey. If you drink, have your glass of wine, but everything in moderation, because it is God's will for us to have an abundant life, So I would just like to say to people, have fun, but do it in moderation.
Excellent. Yeah. Some of the comments from our people watching, Ms. Mwangala says, That's true. Healthy environment is vital, and your behavior attitude says a lot about who you are and your belief system. Thank you, Bo Princess. And Dr. Naomi says, nice discussion. She's she's a chaplain by profession. She works in a hospital, and you know what? She does a lot of stuff. She's been on this show twice, and shared some very deep things. Okay, Mr. K, the final question is, what is coming up?
Before the masterclass, asking about the masterclass. There's one question I feel is important. Now that we have talked about the importance of developing the right attitude, mindset, learning from your previous experiences, what can you do to prevent yourself from going back? Because that's a danger. Whereby, let's say you're coming from an abusive or unhealthy relationship, you fight your way out. How can you prevent yourself from going back?
Yeah, so it's very important for you to have a goal, like have your goals in front of you. And when you have your goals, they are going to be your direction of where you want to go. So if you've just come from an abusive relationship, it's very important that you keep working on where you want to go. Guaranteed is that as soon as you decide that you want to go forward, something is going to happen that is going to try and take you back. And you might find yourself going back, but that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just pick yourself up again and keep moving forward in the direction of where you want to go. I'd like to say that it's very important when you set these goals is get yourself into circles of people who are either wanting to achieve the goals that you're looking for or who have already achieved what you're looking for. So keep yourself in environments that are taking you where you want to go. But also don't be afraid that if you fail, you find that you've taken yourself back, that's okay, as long as you can pick yourself up and keep moving forward. Because when you go back sometimes as well, that's when that self-talk comes and you start being guilty, you start telling yourself, why did I do this, etc., etc. And then that gives you in a spiral of negativity. So pick yourself up. We're going to fail in life. We're going to make mistakes. It's okay. Pick yourself up and start again from where you are.
Amazing. Last but not the least, you have a masterclass coming up. Tell us more about it. When and what is it going to be about? How can people be a part of it?
Yeah, so I'm having a masterclass in February. And the reason I'm doing it in February is because we're coming to the end of the year. Most people are going to be thinking about goals, what they want to achieve in 2023. So I want to create a mindset masterclass where I'm going to help you clarify what your goals are and how you can attain your goals. So we're going to be talking about your mindset, just like what I've shared here, to talk about, how you can prepare your mindset for success, how you can change your environment for success, because there are a lot of people out there who are achieving success with trouble, achieving success doesn't mean that challenges won't come or trouble won't come. You move forward regardless. And I'm going to be showing you how to hit the override button when a challenge comes and just being focused on the goals that you want. Also, I'm going to be helping you. So if you've got goals and you're finding you're having a difficulty in clarifying what is this exactly that you want to do, I'm going to be helping you have some clarity on the definition of your goals.
Excellent.
It's going to be free. So I'm going to be putting the details on my page in the next coming weeks. So it's going to be free, so anybody can jump on and take advantage of it.
Okay.
This is going to be the only free one that I'm going to be doing. The next one is going to be a paid session, because the reason for that as well is that we want to change our mindset as well towards freebies.
Exactly.
You pay attention, you value that thing a lot. So that's part of the mindset as well.
Exactly. You're right, Sasha. You're right. So everybody, if you want to get in touch with Sasha, that's her email, and you can also find her on all the social media platforms. Just search for her name as well. Well, Sasha, thank you for taking the time. Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't believe it's gone by so fast. Merry Christmas to you guys as well. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, that's what happens when we tell people the discussion will take an hour. They say that's too much time until you get on the show. Then 1 hour just goes like that.
Yeah, true. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
All right, everybody. That was SASHA SERVANA. She's a mindset mentor, and she was our guest for today. And look for her on the social media platforms. We have shared her email there for you to get in touch. Look forward for that mindset masterclass coming up in February. So, Mr. K, what are your Christmas plans? By the way, we are not going to have a show next weekend. We're going to take a Christmas break. We shall be back on New Year's Eve, so that we end the year with a bang and with a great mindset. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Christmas?
Talking about a great mindset, it's important to have it refueled by being around the right people. So I should be around loved ones, family, and friends. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right, everybody. Before we go, who wins the World Cup tomorrow? By the way, it's 2-1 now. Croatia is leading 2-1.
Ooh. Tomorrow is really going to be tricky, but I'll give an edge to France. Yeah.
You give an edge to France?
Yeah.
All right.
Yourself?
Myself, I was leaning more to France. I remember when we were growing up, I would say, because I know Messi and their friends, they would want to do it for Messi. His teammates would want to do it for Messi and for him to retire with. It's going to be a very interesting and very tough game. Very tough game. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody, from Zambia Blog Talk Radio. Enjoy the time with family, like Sasha said. Enjoy it. Relax. Take time to enjoy the time. All right, Mr. K, we'll see you, everybody, on December 31st.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.